Good morning.
Someday soon you will all see battle.
Not for years.
Here today,
I keep it as a
will save
reminder.
your lives.
The price of knowledge. My father was never around because my mother left him. She didn't want me to grow up ashamed, so she filled my head with these stories about him. Who knows if any of them were ever true, but I don't think she anticipated the results. I ran away to join my father's crew. They weren't what I expected, but I stayed anyway. And a smuggler, and a thief, and a liar. I guess the apple didn't fall too far from the tree, huh? Mistakes are different when they're mine. I don't want to romanticize the life I led. I could have made different choices. I saw how my parents both struggled. And I resented it. I just couldn't stand the thought of sitting in a tiny room all day, studying or working some respectable job.
Someday soon you will all see battle. And what you do here today may well save your life.
Something like that. It's one of those things that sounds grand in a speech to the crew, but feels like a hypocritical excuse when I say it to you. My father was a Dunmer, and he raised me as one. I was taught that we were meant to struggle and to survive by any means. What to do with yourself after you survive? Well,
Focus on your target.
he never talked about that much. I'm listening. No questions. I wanted to ask you something this time, actually. What's your life been like, you know, before we met? Huh. Well, I can't quite put my finger on it, but there's something about you. Hello. Yeah, what now? I'd like to look nice. What of it? I hate hats. They mess up my hair. So I don't drown? I mean, I have no idea how people even swim in heavy armor. Do you always have to ask so many questions? Just a little trinket I picked up. No. I overpaid for it at a jeweler's like anyone else does. Ask away. First, though, have a round on me. Contraband mostly. Dwemer artifacts, ebony, and the like. With the right intelligence, ships are easy enough to find at sea. Or I'd get there first and loot the ruin myself. When pickings were slim, I'd just take a job transporting, specialty cargo. Yeah, I ran skooma from time to time. That wasn't all of it, though. Hey, don't look at me like that. I have some standards.
This is an ode to Skyrim's staunch protectors, the Imperials.
That's one way to look at it, but there's a lot of ways to get paid. Taking on the East Empire Company is no pleasure cruise. My hands aren't clean. The things I did at sea were what you'd imagine, but I never dealt in slaves or animal fighting rings. We live in a hard world that tests our strength, but senseless cruelty doesn't have to be a part of it, or at least not my part of it. Oh, by Azura that. I hope you killed Ironhand because he's gonna be pissed when I don't pay him. I only took the job to front the money for the expedition to get the Star of Solitude. I figured after I sold it, I'd just pay him back extra and he'd be happy enough with the windfall. Oh, gods, no. Anyway, how in Oblivion would I have gotten a pack of wild wolves into the cargo hold? No amount of money is worth that headache. We'll talk later. Well, thanks. You're rather formidable yourself. I taught myself mostly. I watched the weather patterns over the ocean, read any books I could find. Well, I'm hopeless at alteration magic. You gotta fake yourself out, believe your own lie, as it were. I could never get the knack. but I do wish I knew more about conjuration. You're kidding, right? A guy like me.